And that's such an easy way to build your credibility.
Yeah.
It's just by showing up and being present and being a part of things.
You're listening to the Michigan Real Estate Investor Network podcast from the network studios inside of Michigan Investment Title. This is episode 15, brought to you by Wright Floors.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to another podcast from Michigan Real Estate Investor Network. Hashtag the network. Here we go. Erika, take it over.
Well, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Great to be here. You good today?
I am wonderful today.
Wonderful.
So we got four of us, and what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today what we're going to talk about is we have four people that have been in the industry for a while, some longer than the others. And then we have Paul that's just starting his journey, and we're going to just kind of talk about life experiences a little bit in real estate and see where Paul's heading.
I think that sounds like a great plan.
Fantastic.
All righty.
Good deal.
All right, so you want to go around and kind of introduce ourselves and go from there?
Yep.
All righty. Am I starting?
Yes, you are. Of course. Yes,
All right, that's all I'd be this morning. All right, I am Erika Weichel, owner of Michigan Investment Title. I love working with investors, and we help them get their creative deals done. So I've got about 25 years of experience, Paul, for you. So as far as getting the deal done, once you've got your paperwork done and your deal put together, I'm your person to help you get it to the table and get your money.
All right.
All right. Frank?
Frank Alcini here, CPA, real estate investor. Been working with investors of all different levels in different capacities many years. And whether you're starting out with a single family up to many multifamily properties, always here. And I've seen ups and downs in the industry and from the sidelines and on the forefront.
All right. Hi, I'm Jeff Shipp. I'm a real estate investor here locally in Metro Detroit. Haven't been in it that many years. I was a retired guy and got into real estate. Of course, I'm younger than them two because I haven't been in that long, right? So that cuts me in there. But no, that's what we do, Paul.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Paul Jones, currently a wholesaler in Metro Detroit. Real estate investor, working on getting my first rental right now, getting that all put together. That's all I'm worried about right now. Currently just getting my rentals together, but doing wholesaling to build my capital up. So.
Very smart way.
Yeah. Well, you were very impressive to me because you were showing up at meetings, and just learning while you were still in high school.
Yeah.
So what was the interest? How did that come about?
So around pretty much I say August, I just started reading books, a lot of them, doing a lot of YouTube videos. And then I don't know what really brought me to real estate. I just know that people kept saying, I think it was Richest Man in Babylon, where they just were talking about building wealth and building passive income. So I just got into real estate. And I had a cousin who came into town in December, and we just pretty much started talking about real estate. And he was telling me what he was doing in Atlanta. So I was like, can you just teach me? Can you tell me what's going on? So he taught me a bit, and I just got more interested as time went on pretty much. So then I was like, how can I actually do deals? Because, I can learn this much, but I can't do anything unless I'm taking action and meeting who I need to meet. So I went to a couple meetups. A Macomb meeting was the second one that I went to, and I met pretty much everyone here.
Yeah.
I met pretty much everyone here, but I think I met Frank before I met you guys, before I met Jeff and Erika. I think we met somewhere. But yeah, I had met Frank, and then I just went to a bunch of meetups just trying to figure out how to do deals, learn as much as I can. Then I met Jeff. He taught me a lot when I first met him, and I met a few others, and then I've just been going since then, doing a lot of marketing, really trying to not become a salesman, but just try to help as many people as I can through wholesaling, but like figuring out how to do that. So taking the steps that I need to prepare for those things.
So what about your friends and family? What do they think about that?
I mean,
Because that's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it's just like,
Especially at your age, that's very ambitious.
so I would say for sure my family is proud of me because I have taken those steps to entrepreneurship and just financial freedom that they couldn't take specifically for themselves, but they can watch me do it, and they know that I'm the type of person to pass it down to younger people because I do plan to take it back and give to the community, because that's pretty much my whole goal, is just to do what I need to do for now and then come back in the future and fix up the community. So they know my goals, especially my father and my grandmother. They know especially what I'm doing and how the steps I take, what I've done already to get where I'm at now, and what I plan on doing in the future to build my wealth and to do what I need to do. So.
And why wholesaling? I mean, there's so many different ways you can go with real estate investing, but wholesaling.
So honestly, I speak this pretty much to many people. It's like wholesaling isn't my first choice. Like I said, I love rentals because I just like to see the way wealth grows, and I love how rentals do that. You know what I mean? Because if I use rentals to do that, it's just my goal is to $1,600 by 23. I'm 18 right now. $1,600 will take care of every bill I need to take care of. $1,600 a month. That's just what I do. But wholesaling, it's not as consistent as, you know what I mean? But wholesaling is a great way to build capital.
Yeah.
So I have nothing against it. Everybody has their preferences, but my personal preference is rentals. But wholesaling is just a way to build capital. There's not much risk. And, me being young with little credit, little, capital to a degree, that's just the way to go.
Totally understand. What do you think, Frank?
I think that's a great idea. And I mean, the biggest thing is the wholesaling is going to provide him the income to sustain while he's looking at opportunities. And then it's going to also open up the doors to opportunities that you might actually end up keeping for yourself, or as you establish yourself. I mean, I think ran into you at all the different meetups around town, and I mean, that's the biggest thing, getting out there, listening to everybody, seeing what's good, bad, what fits for you. Maybe something you're not even going to implement today, but deal comes along a year from now, you remember, I heard this situation, or somebody got out of that this way. And it's just really keeping your ears open and constantly learning, because a deal may not work with one scenario, but now you have another way to approach that deal, or you end up walking into it to wholesale it and things are different. You end up putting it in your portfolio or working with somebody. And but I mean, I think, the wholesaling, providing that shorter term, I mean, it's not recurring, but you also like to eat and continue to eat. So everybody's got to eat.
That sure does make a difference, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I first ran into Paul in a meetup, I could tell that he was hungry and eager. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't shy so much, he was a little held back because he really didn't understand it all. But as time has went on, I've got to know him more. You can tell that he's ready to go. He's one of them kind of people you can see that one day, he'll be a big player in this industry, in real estate investing in Metro Detroit. I do believe that. And it's because he does. I see him every day. He's taking action. He's out there. He's getting at it. He's making the cold calls. He's talking to people. He's not afraid to go into houses, which is pretty good for a young kid. He's still a young kid, young man. Let me change. Young man. But he's a young guy. So that kind of makes it impressive that he is willing to get out there and get at it. And that's what I liked about him when I first met him.
Oh, yeah. And
it's like, okay, this guy's going to do something. He's just got to figure out what path he's going to take.
Well, consistency. I mean, that's always the key to it, right? So we've all been to so many different networking events, and you see people and they might be consistent, and come 2, 3, 4 months in a row, and then you don't see them again. And it might be 2 years and they'll pop up again. I just had a client that was bugging me about 7 years ago, and he showed up here at my office and said, I think I'm ready now. It's been 7 years since I've seen her talk to him. So, I mean, a lot of times people just, they get excited about it and they try to move forward with it. And then life happens and it takes a back seat. So the fact that Paul's being so consistent with everything is definitely a part of the key to your success and moving forward.
Yeah. That's really how I try to keep it up right now, especially with the meetups, because I know it's not just, getting my face out there. It's just a learning experience, hearing everybody talk. And one thing that I'm just trying to make sure is that I don't lose any traction that I've already made. because it's about to be 2020. That means I'm about to turn 20. I was born in 2000. I'm about to turn 20, and I'm just trying to make sure and ensure that in 2030, 2040, my face is still there. So, I'm really trying to start strong and finish strong, So just showing up at every meetup as I can. Eventually I'll begin my own and do what I need to do too. Once I build more deals, once I'm able to, build a surrounding and build the people who I need to build and, gaining even more traction than I already have. So.
Well, and you never know who's going to show up.
Exactly.
And who you're going to meet. So if you decide to stay home that day, that's that day that golden person's going to show up and be there, and you're going to miss out. So, I mean, it's really important that you go to all of the meetings.
Right.
And you've been showing that and for a while. So, and I know you've been working.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So I think I started coming to meetups in around like February. I think it was the February meetup where I had met Jeff. And that's when I was like, I really just have to stay here. I really have to just make my mark and listen. Even if I don't talk, even if I don't stand up at every meetup, I just have to make sure they see me, because it's just kind of like, it's kind of like advertising. It's just like people don't usually pretty much don't click on the ad until the 7th time they see you. So that's pretty much all it was. So it's like I have to make sure I come for the next 7 months, and that started in February, and it's just reached September. And then that's when August, September hit, that's when people really started saying, you're really consistent. It's just kind of like clicking on an ad. So that's just pretty much how I try to plan my stuff, just show out continuously so people consistently see me.
Well, and they've seen you up in front.
Yeah.
At some of the meetups and at some of the larger meetings. I mean, you've been speaking. Mm-hmm. And you're speaking, and one of your high school teachers were there.
Yeah.
Listening to you, which was, I mean, it was incredible.
Was amazing.
It was perfect.
Great.
Yeah. That's real fun. And that's the thing that I'm saying, like just coming back to the community, like just that one teacher being able to see me and just building that type of traction in 6-7 months, and my teacher that was my my 9th grade teacher who that was. And I loved her ever since I had her class until senior year. That was always like a really close teacher to me. So just being able to see her smile, just seeing me, and like I got her on her real estate journey. Like she finally was like, I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to get my first home. So she did her first wholesale deal.
Oh, so we were talking about how your teacher was at one of the meetups, and she, you actually helped her get started on her real estate journey. One of her students.
Yeah. So I just got her started like every day, pretty much at least 2 times a week. I try to go into her classroom, and she'll ask me some questions like, what's some things that I can do just to get started, blah, blah, blah. And then she introduced me to a dude who works at a foundation, and he's pretty much becoming one of my funders. We've been talking a lot, and it's been great just being able to, like I said, just being consistent to where people can introduce me to other people, and I can build that network. So that's just great.
Referrals are huge. So if people see you, and it's nice because people will say, oh, have you ever worked with him before? And you can just tell. People are like, and even if they haven't, I haven't worked with him, but he shows up at every meeting. I see him all the time. Yeah. It's much better to have that than people to say, oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So I mean, it lends credibility. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and that's such an easy way to build your credibility. Yeah. It's just by showing up and being present and being a part of things. Yeah. So I'm curious though, when your teacher was asking you what she could do to get started, what was your beginning advice for her?
Talk to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
That was just the way that I went about it. Like the main thing I wanted to do was just get into the meetings and meet whoever I can meet, and whoever can help me and I can help them. That's pretty much all I said. But thing is, because she wanted to wholesale so bad, I was like, you got to talk to people who are going to be mean to you, pretty much. Like pretty much saying you got to cold call, or at least you should. Like, of course people do other methods, but she was telling me, it's like, I'm not starting out with much, plus I plan on retiring soon. How do I start? So I'm just like, you got to get on the phone. You got to talk to somebody. And that's pretty much all I said. Just, you got to call somebody.
And that was what you had followed for yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. Tons of cold calls. But now
you love it, right?
Yeah. It's not hard. It's like,
I am not a cold call girl. No.
It's like,
not that I couldn't do it. I just didn't like doing it. I did it a long time ago, and I cried.
Boring.
I'm a girl.
Oh, really?
People are mean.
They're mean.
People are mean.
But if nobody hates you, nobody can like you.
Yeah.
All right, Frank. Where were you 20 years ago when I was cold calling?
You ever cold call, Frank?
I got fired from a cold calling job when I was in high school. I didn't realize when they hang up on you, you can't call them back.
Yeah.
I think we got disconnected.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, like Jeff said, it's just I wasn't afraid to do those certain steps. Like, of course, in the beginning it was hard. The only reason it was kind of scary was because it was hard, because I've never done it before. I've never just hopped on the phone. But it's like I've always been able to speak at least a little bit, at least to get my point across, and that's all that I implemented. So I knew I wasn't going to get it through direct mail. I sent out some direct mail. I was like, I hate this. And so,
well, you're not talking to anybody.
Yeah,
You're hoping that they call you.
That's the thing. It's like I'm at the meetings. It's like all I want to do is talk to people. It's like the question I have to ask myself is like, who am I going to talk to today? Who's going to be new? Who can I meet that's new? Who can help me out that I haven't helped before? You know. So that's all it was. I just told her to talk to new people, figure out who she needs to talk to, and somebody's going to be willing to sell. It's a lot harder to find someone who's willing to sell, but
somebody will.
Somebody's going to be willing to sell.
No, it's good though. But you know, the whole consistency thing it's starting to pay off for him, and that's a big thing for him. I mean, you know, right now a deal that's under contract and it's got a lot of action right now in Detroit. Paul was actually part of it, so you know it makes a big difference when you see him and you know see him in action and what he's doing. He's starting to get more and more traction and now stuff's starting to come through where he can make some money and see, you know, okay, I helped them people. And because I helped them, I made some money myself. And he's starting to see that now. And I think that's just so important, you know, especially young like him, to get a little bit of success. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this can be. Yeah, I am going down the right path. And that's where he's at now. You know, he's been a tremendous success on some stuff. And he'll do a lot more in the future. Just got to keep him there every day.
I think he'll do absolutely fine. Yeah. He grasped the concept of it. He knows about the networking. He knows to go out and meet people. He's got to work hard every day.
Yeah.
You know, and financially for people that are starting out, I mean, to be a wholesaler, if you're going to do that direct mail, I mean, there a lot of mail's got to go out. That adds up to a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So if you got to make your money count, you know, the cold calling may be better, or the driving for dollars may be a better way, and you're actually getting to get in front of somebody and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, and that seemed to be working for you.
Yeah. Because a good friend of mine that I know, the very first thing that he told me was that you either need to be on the phone or in people's living rooms. And I think that was the advice that I took, that I really implemented. Like it was at that meeting that they told me. We had hopped on the phone about a week or two after that, and they had told me that. And I think that's when I really just started rolling.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot further if you can get in front of them, especially you. You're kind of a smooth talker.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that every single time I go into a house, oh, you're a lot younger than I thought you would be. And it's like, yeah.
Well, you got that deep voice.
Yeah.
So on the phone, you know, they probably expect a little bit older. But
yeah.
A little bit older. Then in comes the baby face.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Frank?
I mean, I think really just getting out there, like you said, and working with the people, because a lot of people, like you said, are going to be negative or whatever, but it's really, like Jeff said, finding those people that you're going to help in certain situations. And I deal with a lot of investors, talk to a lot of investors. Everybody's got a different idea on different aspects of the business and that. And it's really, none of that matters. A lot of it's just listening, but it's really finding what you like and what you do. I mean, you're saying wholesaling might be the step to stuff, but really as you grow, you might start looking at a lot of deals that you either pass them on and you could be wholesaling. I mean, technically call it wholesaling, whatever, maybe not actively marketing, but those deals are just seeking you out as you become a larger player.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, imagine if you could kick off a deal, make some money, and not even have the marketing dollars in it. That'd be a perfect world.
Yeah.
Win-win-win. Yeah.
Well, and it all depends on what the market does, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which is part of the reason I love working with investors so much, is no matter what the market is, their kids have to eat, they have to eat, right? So they're going to find a way to make the market work for them.
Right.
And we've been through so many ups and downs over the last 25 years that I've been in it, and the last, especially 16 years that I've worked almost, primarily with investors. Their strategies just keep changing.
Yeah.
They find a way to make it work. So,
yeah. And I think that's a perfect timing when he's getting into this market right now. It's starting to shift a little. So he's going to get to see a couple different markets coming up soonly. And when he gets to see that, he's going to learn to adapt. And then when it comes down later down the road, he'll know, okay, it's time to shift. Because with anything with real estate, you've got to shift. If you're not going to shift, you're going to die. So you've got to reinvent yourself. You've got to remold, re-go. And he's coming in at the perfect time, in my opinion, so he can see different stuff and learn how to shift, because he's going to be around people that have already went through it. Some of the old people have been through it. Some of the younger ones are going to go through it.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to see. And I think, for young investors like Paul and that, it's just perfect timing. Really good timing to be in it.
And really with all that networking, that's where with the different networking, you're meeting the different people, because if it's just wholesale the deal, go buy it for cash, when the markets change, how do you adapt, and really learning all the different strategies, because right now a lot of people, well, now's a bad time to get in. Everyone always says that right now is a bad time to get in. Doesn't matter what market it is.
it's
and
always
then
bad.
a year from now, I wish I would have done it last year.
Right.
But as markets change, your strategies and the way you implement things are going to change, but not necessarily. People are buying and selling real estate. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. Right. And it's just knowing how to get into a deal or out of a deal, or being able to be able to shift your strategy and work in those different situations.
Yeah, and that's going to help him, especially with rentals.
Oh, yeah.
I see him always. He's always smartly and consciously always offering the land contract too, which is perfect. It's not just, we'll wholesale it. We'll buy it. Can we get it on land contract?
Yeah.
He's talking always different stuff, which is, great, because he's already thinking, what can I do?
Depending on the seller situation, different options are going to work better, and one might be more appealing than the other to them. So it's a good thing to know.
Yeah. Real smart thing.
And seller financing is always a bonus.
Yeah.
So
Such a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Also, as a seller, there's a lot of tax advantages when they seller finance, and if you can incorporate that, because sometimes investors are, well, I need to get X amount just because I need to clear and pay my taxes. Well, they might structure things differently, or whatever their needs are. Maybe they want that stream of income, or what do they need that lump sum payment for? What are they going to do with it? Other people are just more into control, and I don't want to give it to you and give up control. I want my cash in my bank. I don't care if I'm making anything on it. And you're never going to change that mindset, but you move on to the next one.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. But you'll definitely get there. You'll figure it out. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. Just make it a marathon. That's how you're going to last in this game. Don't worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Worry about next month. And that's how you're going to get there. Got to eat though, so worry about tomorrow. But then worry about next month a little more.
Yeah.
Well, but that's it, right? You have to keep things going in your pipeline.
Yeah.
So you can't
Very
just get
true.
one deal and stop. You got to keep going, because you don't know what's going to happen. So I would be really scared if I looked and I didn't have any orders coming into my business.
Right.
Yeah, that's when it gets tight.
Yeah, so I need to make sure that I'm constantly getting those orders and keep them going to keep the business going. So same thing with you, and having all those options is good.
Yeah.
But Jeff, you've said it before. it's all about helping people, and you can really feel good about what you're doing as an investor if you're helping somebody out of a situation or into a situation. It's a good thing for everybody.
Yeah. I feel like that's the big goal right now. Just try to help as many people as possible. That's pretty much the main thing. But as you said about waiting, that's just one thing. I'd say the biggest thing that I've gotten out of these past 8 to 10 months of working here is just kind of I'm okay because I'm 18. It's I'm not worried about pushing it back, saying I'm going to do it the next day, but it's saying I can take it piece by piece instead of taking it one at a time. You know what I mean? Because literally, I have a lot of patience, and that's one thing I've learned now. Is I can wait the 10 years to become a millionaire, no matter what. And
Just 10.
Yeah.
I like that, though. I like that. He didn't even hesitate. It wasn't about making money when I become a millionaire.
Yeah.
I like that mindset.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, a
like
lot
that.
of it's not necessarily. I mean, it is that patience because it doesn't fit them today. Right now, wait until the next tax bill comes due. Right now, they're happy, or after they've had it on the market, or you get into wintertime, things change. Oh yeah, remember that Paul guy that talked to us before, offered us something? Well, now I've had this property vacant for 6 months, and I have to pay taxes again, and maybe his deal doesn't sound so bad today.
Right.
And I haven't been able to do it on my own. So everything comes and goes. And I mean, even if they told you off yesterday on the phone and hung up on you, call them back. I mean,
They won't remember.
I mean, not that same day.
Yeah.
you know?
Not the same day.
But when you call them back when they're ready, they're going to be like, "You've been calling me," and you probably haven't called them in 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah.
I think we're about to wrap up, huh?
Yep. Looks like it's coming to an end.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Final
Any
thought?
last questions?
So, final thoughts. I just don't really have much. I just am really grateful for everything that's come out of these past 8 to 10 months. I've got to meet some really amazing people as a young guy. And I just know, like I said, I have a long time in this game. In 2030, 2040, you guys are still going to be seeing me at meetups. You guys are still going to be seeing me everywhere. So that's all it is. I'm very grateful to meet who I've been meeting. I know I'm going to meet a lot of amazing people, and I know I'm just going to be able to bring it full round to where the goal is. So.
Well, I know you've been going to a lot of these meetups. A lot of people know who you are now, and a lot of these people have tremendous respect for you and really think that you're going to go somewhere. So that says volumes about you as a person and you being smart and savvy and being a great investor. So I look forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you.
It looks like we're coming to an end here. Paul, appreciate you being here, brother.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Michigan Real Estate Investor Network podcast. Just call it the network. To subscribe to the show, go to www.michiganreinetwork.com, where you can have the show sent right to your inbox. Subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. If you'd like to be on a future show, there's a link on the site to submit your info. The network is 100% focused on the Michigan real estate investing community. Whether you are brand new or a grizzled vet, we want you to be a part and share the love.